Welcome to the Rock Fight, where we speak our truth, slay sacred cows, and sometimes agree to disagree. This is an outdoor podcast that aims for the head. I'm Colin True, and today on the show, Paddy O'Connell is back. Last week, Justin Hausman and I chatted about PaddyO Sucks At, the new show put out on Outside Watch. And look, longtime listeners of the Rock Fight know that I've been pretty critical of some of the recent moves and shows over at Outside, and I stand behind that criticism. But like I said last week, credit where credit is due, and PaddyO Sucks At is awesome, and I hope indicative of future Outside projects. And today we get to hear from its creator and star, Paddy O'Connell, who saw the bat signal we put up in the sky and is here for the fourth time to tell Justin and I how the show came to be and give us a look behind the scenes of the show that bears his name. All right, buckle up, folks, because PaddyO is back on the Rock Fight. Let's start the show. Welcome to the Rock Fight, Rock Fight, Rock Fight. All right, we're joined now by the one and only Paddy O'Connell. This is Paddy's fourth appearance on the Rock Fight, I believe. I think that makes you sort of the only member, I believe, of the four-timer club. You know, not obviously, Justin and Kyle, other people come on with, with regularity, but as a guest, I think you're leading the charge, Paddy.
Now I feel very special. Thank you.
I'm going to get you on those like SNL five-timer jackets.
I was just going to say,
yeah. Can I get a Letterman jacket?
Can you name
what kind of patch do I get?
People in that club?
I think it's just Paddy. I think there's been...
No, I mean in the SNL club.
Oh, dude.
Oh, well, Tom Hanks was the big one, right?
Wasn't John Goodman hosted
Steve
like
Martin,
17
maybe?
times
Goodman?
or something like that?
Steve Martin.
Yeah.
Emma Stone was just put in there. She's
Tina,
the other couple
Tina
weeks
Fey,
ago.
I think, has hosted now
yes.
like a million times too. She's the best.
But Paddy's new show, PaddyO Sucks At, which we're here to talk about today, can be found on Outside Watch. Justin and I talked about it last week here on the Rock Fight and said that, we wanted to have Paddy on to learn a little bit more about it. And here he is. So,
Hi.
What's up, man? How's it going? How's the show going? You're a week in?
That's the kind of poll we have.
That's true.
It could have been anybody. We could have talked about anybody. Let's get them on.
Well, you guys showed up and started
they are.
rooting through my trash outside my house, so I figured I might as well shut. He's like, all right,
Well,
fine.
it had a lot of Christmas lights on. We could see it from miles
Dude, if
away.
You Scrooge of a man, just enjoy the Christmas light. They're yay winter lights now. They are yay winter lights.
Yay winter.
The show is great. I'm super glad that it is out in the world. I had to keep it secret for a long time. And we've been working on it like from basically for the better part of 2023. And then we went into like post-production during the fall, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited. And I couldn't talk about it with anybody.
You were scheduled to come on. I think you and I were going to have a pre-winter sort of episode, and you're like, dude, I can't. I'm buried.
I was like fully maxed with that and with this show and a few other projects, and I couldn't. I did not have time. But I'm here now.
Well, let's talk about the show, man. How did it all come together? What is the backstory of it?
It's kind of it kind of happened. I feel like over the course of a few years. I've worked with Micah Abrams, who is now.
Shout out to Micah Abrams. I also worked with Micah Abrams at Surfer Magazine. I didn't know he was at Outside until last week. So, what's up, Micah? Well, we're not like bros. Yeah. I mean, other than we work together. But I'll like throw him like a bone on his like amazing Instagram feed for like best headlines ever written or whatever. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I had no idea he was at Outside until
He's been there for a little while now, and we worked together on in a number of different ways over the last like handful of years. And I've written kind of stuff like the joys and sorrows of being a beginner. I've written a few articles about that, and over just like a few exchanges editorially like on that, Mike and I kind of dreamt this thing up last year, and he got put in charge of creating more video content for Outside, and was like, what do you think if we took what you've done with like mountain biking or fly fishing, Nordic skiing, like, and you've talked about like publicly either on podcasts or like written articles, like how great it is to try new things and how terrible it is at the same time to try new things. What do you think if we made a show about this? And it kind of it kind of grew from there.
This seems like something that you should have done a long time ago. This seems like an extremely natural fit for you.
Well,
I'm actually shocked this just came up a year or so ago.
Well, thank you very much. I mean, I'm no stranger.
Not because you're terrible at things, but kind of because you're terrible
Well,
at things.
I think the
backhanded compliment ever.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Later on, we're going to really just nitpick Paddy's entire life.
You have some raw and unbridled shitty
I heard you can't cook
athleticism.
spaghetti for shit. Would you like to explain that?
You'd be handsome if your face didn't get in the way of it. I think that like, in our outdoor community, I feel like there's this idea that like you were just like, you came like out the womb shredding the gnar and you were like an expert to begin with. And like people, like I think like Jerry of the Day and like all the like, people who like, talk shit about newbies is kind of bullshit, and, and I think I'm a prime example of like, hey, you can go out there and get your ass totally handed to you and still have a good time. And you don't have to be an expert to like be the thing. I don't have to be an expert skier to think of myself as a skier or to enjoy it, And, like most of my, life in the outdoors has just been like, I don't really know what I'm doing and I'm going to try to figure it out and go follow people who know what they're doing. And, I also tend to show up to life laughing, I want to see life through the lens of humor. And in terms of my work, creatively, I think that like humor is best served up on the platter, or like poignancy is best served on the platter of humor. And I think that, with the show, if we can go into these cool and intimidating sports and show people that like, if you can find somebody who knows a little bit of what they're doing and you can like have this experience, you're going to really enjoy it, even when you're getting totally worked. And maybe you don't want to be a beginner, but you can still watch me get my ass handed to me and have a good time.
I wrote an essay about this a long time ago when I met this woman named Alyssa Steamer, who is like the Tony Hawk of like women's skateboarding. And she was part of my surf crew. I actually didn't know who she was at all for like years. Like she was part of my surf crew in San Francisco. And she was new and starting out, and she was probably like in her early 40s at the time. She's actually a pretty good surfer. That prompted an article I wrote. And I hadn't really thought about it before, because coming from a surf background, you immediately hate newcomers. I mean, for lots of reasons. But, not so much hate, but just completely disregard. Yeah. And she made me think of it completely differently, partially because she's a legend at skating. Yeah. She's in like the Tony Hawk video games. Yeah. I mean, she's an absolute legend. Yeah. And she was like, I'm just going to show up and be a complete, absolute noob at this, like as an adult. Yeah. And as a woman in like a very like masculine, like San Francisco, like surf lineup. And that completely flipped how I think about it. But like being a newcomer at things as an adult, like that takes so much more bravery, so much more courage, so much more like self-confidence than like, I mean, if you're learning how to do something at 6, who cares,
right, exactly.
But like, wow, that was a brave thing for her to do, for anybody to do. And, especially on camera.
A lot of the sports that we like try and PaddyO Sucks At are sports that I've wanted to do, but haven't because of that intimidation factor. And I think a lot of it just boils down to the fear of looking stupid. People, as an adult, nobody wants to look stupid. It's like, I want to pick up this new sport like it is, like a football lying in the grass at a barbecue. And I'm just going to pick it up and throw a perfect spiral right away because, friggin' sports and I'm athletic and that's how I see myself and that's my identity. And you go out and you try climbing and you're like, I actually suck so much ass at this. Like this, does this shake who I am as a person? Do I look stupid to other people? Like that keeps people from trying stuff all the time. And it kept me from trying stuff. So the show is in celebration of that. Like adult beginners going out, having a good time.
I'm trying to picture young PaddyO just sitting in Chicago being like, man, I really want to try burro racing. Like that must have been,
that was not on my mind as a young child.
When you were pitching the show or when you and Micah were developing it, were there ideas you shot down or were you allowed? Was everything sort of on the table? And was there anything you're like, I don't know about that one?
I mean, everything is kind of on the table because, we're not making a documentary, out there. We're trying to make entertainment. So everything is out there. Like, so I would say that it's like, hey, am I out there trying stuff that I really wanted to try? Or am I out there trying stuff because I know I'm going to like totally suck ass at it? The answer to that is yes. Both. Both of those are correct. You know, like
well, in the format, right? You get 3 days or whatever it is. It's like good luck. I mean, you're talking about stuff, the 10,000 hour rule, whatever. Like you're not going to be great at it. So it's really truly is about the attempt.
I'm trying to break it down to like, hey, in a handful of hours, you know, can you go? And it's not, but that's the thing. It's not about mastery. It's about going out. Can I go out and do this and go from like, you know, we kind of in the marketing of it, we're calling it like from zero to hero, you know, but really it's like, can I go from like zero experience or like minimal experience to like, hey, can I go out and just like have a smile while I'm doing this? So, you know, all the episodes that are out are, you know, stuff that I really wanted to try, except maybe like orienteering because I'm just like a map moron.
Yeah, that's a surprising one to include, but
because that one came about mostly
probably
because
the most difficult.
Yeah, I mean that one came about mostly because I was like, I really don't want to do this, and Micah was like, absolutely, we're doing it now.
That's it.
Yeah, exactly. But really, everything is on the table as long as we feel like, you know, it's going to be funny. I'm going to be significantly challenged and have to work through that challenge in, you know, a way that is both kind of like aspirational or inspirational and just like realistic. And if it's going to be like a humorous thing and we can make like a full, you know, 22-minute episode out of it.
I think what's important is kind of going back to what you're saying about the why of it all. And I've always had this thing about these outdoorsy activities, especially because someone started doing them a little bit later in life, where it's like, you know, anybody can do these. Like they're just sitting there, right?
Yeah.
And now, and especially these days, there's a lot of infrastructure around to help you go and learn to do these things. You can take a lesson for just about anything.
It sure is getting a lot better.
Until you do though. Yeah, and until you do though, and if you do, and you kind of like peek over that little mountaintop and see what's on the other side, it's kind of like learning the secret of like how much more kind of it can really empower your life and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And before you came on, we were talking about because Justin's going to learn to ski, right? And it's like I love that idea of somebody who's older.
Yeah.
No, but I even said to my wife recently, like I need something new. Like I want what's something new that I can learn.
Well, you're a new surfer.
That's true, but I mean it's been a few years, but I mean that
still counts as new.
Yeah, no kidding, but.
See, here I go. I can't help myself.
Dude, you're not in the club yet.
He called me a surfer. Like that's progress.
I did.
There you go.
I did.
Yeah, you could add it to your LinkedIn.
But my favorite
now.
thing, to kind of to what you said, one of my favorite moments was in the burro racing episode when you sat down at the end and you're like, that was fun. Like it was so sincere. Like that wasn't planned. You could tell that wasn't like a pickup shot or anything. Like you just had really enjoyed what you had just done. It was so cool.
Yeah, I mean, I am a trail runner, right? Like, and I've taken up endurance running first as like a big. I was like, I'm 33 and I need something to like really challenge myself, and that was a number of years now. And now, like after a knee surgery, after a bunch of PT, like I continue to trail run. Mostly like my wife loves it and she's like a super talented athlete, especially endurance athlete. But so like endurance running or trail running wasn't the new thing, but like I had never been around a hoofed animal like that. And dude, that donkey made me run faster than I would have I would have run. Dude, I was like, especially when we make the turn for like home and you hear me and I'm like, all right, Darby, like, let's go home. Darby's the donkey's name. And I'm like, let's go home, Darby, let's go home. And he's like pulling me at the end of his lead, and I'm running like, his lead is stretched out and I'm running like the wheels, no joke. We're like, I was like at my closing speed, usually like half mile from the, finish from the trailhead or whatever. Right. I'll be like, let's get a little lacrosse, like training done here. Like I'm going to make the coaches look, I'm like, remembering high school and college lacrosse days, but like, it was like 3.5, maybe 4 miles from like the end. And Darby was like, I'm running hard.
Yeah.
Hang on.
And so
where home is.
And yeah, exactly. And I was like, oh my God, dude, like I am dying here. I am like fully redlined. And so that's pretty cool. It's like, oh, like doing this thing pushed me to an athletic place that I wouldn't have normally like pushed myself to.
That's so cool.
And so that's cool. And like every single one of the episodes had something like that. And I know firsthand like what it's like to be an adult beginner. You know, I didn't start skiing until I was 23 years old. And I went on I was working in Chicago, and I went on a ski trip, first ski trip ever, to Telluride, Colorado, to visit a college buddy. And then I moved there like a handful of months later. And like, it changed my whole life. I went from skiing for 3 days on a 3-day trip, and I was like, this is it for me. This is it. So I know the power of like trying new stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
like,
and
learning
what
that
it can
secret,
do.
it's huge.
It's so great.
Well, you also learned a skill. I mean, you've done this with, I forget how many episodes there are, 5 or 6, but like that's probably a skill, you know, like
it's cool. And
throwing yourself out there into brand new things. But okay, now I know how to learn. I know how I learn. I know like what I need to know to like get over the hump of being afraid of something or whatever. Like that in and of itself is a skill.
Well, it keeps challenging me to do like stuff where like the voice in my head is like, no, you're going to look stupid. Don't do it. Like orienteering, that was the closest I got. And I was very close to just like looking at, you know, the production crew and being like, okay, we're done, dude. We are done. Like, bring me some chocolate cake and some chimichangas and give me compliments, because I felt like I was doing long division in front of the class, like as a 3rd grader. And it was like, everybody's going to laugh at you. And it was like, I feel so stupid right now. I hate this. Yeah. And I couldn't just be like, tough. Done. I'm done. That was so tough. Or just like the fear of climbing, or how scary kayaking can be.
Okay. So which, if any, and you said you wrapped up filming like like a while back, right? You've been post for a while. So which, if any of these, have you done since?
This is a good question.
I have.
And it's okay if it's no.
Burro racing.
No.
Yes, I have stolen a flock of donkeys. Darby lives in my garage.
Darby, get out of the shot. We can see
Darby,
you.
what are you doing? I have a desire to sign up for a burro race, but I have yet to do it. I am actively looking for a kayak right now. I've got a pack raft. But I want a hard shell kayak.
I'm always on the verge of buying a kayak.
And my buddy Stan, who old buddy of mine, who is the expert in the kayak episode, is also helping to source a kayak for my gigantic body to fit into. And he has
whitewater boats are not large vehicles.
No, but he's got the like finger on the pulse in the kayak world, and and plus in the valley, and he has some like ideas for me to like come out this spring to the kayak club in the valley, get my roll down and like do a trip, like a multi-day like overnight trip with him to some sections of river that I've done before, but only in a raft. So psyched on that. I have fly fished. I rigged my own rod. Went out by myself, and I caught an absolute beauty.
That seemed that whole I mean, the fly fish one's my favorite because I have all the things. That's the thing I like to do.
I'm sure.
But that I was watching it so hard. Just like, is this genuine? Is this enthusiasm genuine?
Oh, yeah.
But it obviously was.
Here's the thing: is we're not making a documentary, but I'm also like, I refuse to be like a sock puppet in front of a camera. Like everything you see is like real reactions, me going through real deal, right? Like, of course, there's a bit of setup, and you got to do your pickup shots like here, and they're like, "Hey, welcome to day 2," and da-da-da-da. But like, this is actually me going out and challenging myself and being psyched because I am psyched. I'm a psyched human. I refuse to be cynical. I get fired up on stuff.
Are you allowed to say, like, are you doing another season?
Season 2 is in the works. We're planning on it right now.
Nice.
And so.
Are you allowed to say what you're doing in it?
Well, we've got a lot of things that are kind of being thrown out. A lot of different activities. Like I really want to try. I've never tried snowboarding. I really want to try that. I also I wrote an article for Ski back during the last Olympics about biathlon. And
that's a great idea.
What a good call.
And they found it. The U.S. biathlon team found it and were like, "Hey, come on out and try
that's
this."
A great
and
call.
I was like,
I would love to do that.
So I think that would be.
That's going to be fun.
I think that would be hilarious. On many different reasons, because like I have like zero experience shooting except for like like a slingshot and
duck hunt,
musket. a musket during a Civil War reenactment when I was like 12 years old. Yeah.
Was that when the mustache came out? Was that
that's
sort of
really,
like
that's where I bought the mustache. And got the cavalry cut, the whole deal. And so I want to do that. There's all sorts of. I mean, surfing was thrown out for season 1, and we couldn't get it done because of like scheduling. So I think we're gonna try that.
Yeah, burro racing, you had plenty. That was easy. Hard to find an ocean. I guess.
Yeah. Well, burro racing in Colorado is kind of easy to find.
Way funnier too.
Yeah, and it's like down the street.
For sure,
right?
I know. Yeah,
it was mostly.
Sure.
It's about. Sure. I think mostly it's like we have all these ideas for great sports and activities, right? And then it's about like finding the expert, and then like scheduling the expert is actually like I would say it's kind of like the hardest part. But like I do want to try surfing. I've tried it one time before.
Yeah. You're pretty well established as a winter guy, and
yes.
and part of your persona is not only just pro winter but anti summer. So after learning all of these different activities,
that's true.
Oh, it is true. That's what we were going to talk about when you couldn't come on last fall, I think.
Yeah.
Do you? And I say this a little tongue in cheek, but also sincerely. Like, do you have a little bit better appreciation for the warm weather months, at least in terms of like, oh, look at all these other fun things I can do now to get me between ski seasons? Or
I mean, summer still totally sucks. Yeah, summer still. No, these are just great ways to distract from the fact that just like I can't stop.
I haven't
sweating.
heard this before. I don't know.
Summer
He's
sucks,
so anti-warm weather.
It's just I run so hot that just like the summer months I'm just like, this is stupid because I'm sweating sausage gravy all the time. I love running. Trail running, I love fly fishing now. I think kayaking is going to be great once I get a boat.
Those are all kind of fall weather, like things.
You could do these things, all
in the
these
fall,
things
though.
in the summer, but it's great. But like July in Carbondale, Colorado, is a billion degrees. It's so
you are
hot.
You're the prototype for the Northwest, though, buddy. Yeah, because it doesn't get that hot there in the summer, and it's usually cool and moist, and then they get like.
But I've been there in
snowfall.
the summer, and it's so humato, my friend.
No, come on, you from Chicago. It's not the same,
dude. I can't even get. I've lived out west so long now in Denver or anywhere, but like from Denver to Telluride, I've lived in a bunch of different places in Colorado. I've lived in Colorado.
That's the mountainous part of Colorado, Justin. Just to make sure it's clear.
I've lived in.
They do have that.
Not the plains.
I've lived in Colorado so long though that when I go back to Chicago or somewhere in the Midwest and it's the summer and it's humid, like I can't handle it. I have an emotional reaction. Like when you get out of the shower and you're toweling yourself off and you start sweating from toweling yourself off, I just cry. I cry now, and it's not good.
The winters too, by the way. Like when I was living in Park City, so this was when I was still kind of more of a winter guy, and I went to Montreal in February, and it didn't get above like 1 degree Fahrenheit, and it was just like I had this urgency of like I have to get inside. I'm gonna die if I stand up. Which I mean, growing up in the Northeast or Chicago, like it's fine. That happens several times in winter. What are you talking about? And the people I was with thought I was crazy. So you do become very soft in the West.
I'd much rather be like super cold than hot, and that's just.
Maybe that should be an episode for you. Just Paddy in the desert.
Well, burro racing, racing, it was so hot. And what didn't make the episode was that like second day when we were doing all the training around like the obstacle course and stuff, and then we went on the run. Well, the donkeys were like, I don't really want to go on this run and Amber, the expert, was like, they don't want to go on this run because they're too hot. And I was like, I get it. I think
but we need like 90 seconds of running footage.
I have the heart of a donkey, apparently. So we did try, and that's why I was like, dude, if it's this hot tomorrow and like like we have to like get this 9-mile run done, like I am effed. Like we're gonna be out here for 12 hours. So, like I don't know, man. Summer, I've got some new stuff to distract myself, but yeah, it's just sweat. I'm a sweaty mess. I'm a sweaty mess.
Yeah, it was a little cooler that day on the burro race, and you were still pretty soaked through by the end.
Did you see how gross I got? Did you see what happens when I'm out there in the summer?
I don't think I want to watch this episode.
Yeah. Think of this, Justin. This is basically what happened. Was like if you were to right now in all of your clothes go into the shower and just like let the shower pour on you for 5 minutes and walk out. That's how I look at the end of burro racing, and that's just like a normal run.
At the beginning of the episode, I'm like, is he going to go do like one of those races where there's like 100 people with burros? And so I thought the way you did it was smart because that would have been probably maybe the most intimidating thing you had taken on. If you had gone to a real burro race after 2 days.
Yeah, I think
that would have been.
But you know what? Like some people do that. They sign up for a burro race and they show up day of and just grab it. And it's just like, I don't want to do that. And so we had to come up with we had to come up with a challenge, and that was the challenge.
Smart.
Was 9 days. Or 9 miles, and like within a certain like time frame, and I did it.
We said it last week. I mean, I don't know what your goals are, but if 5 years from now, someone's like, "Oh, there's Paddy on CNN or HBO or doing anything," it wouldn't shock me. Like you are an absolute gem. You're incredibly important to our community, but also your ceiling is so high. And so all your success for this is deserved.
Thank you.
The show's incredible. I encourage everybody to go and watch it.
That's really kind of you. I really, really appreciate that. And I think that, I don't know, I had always thought maybe like a TV show was something that would be, was like a far off distant goal. And it was just like, I don't even know what the path is to this. I'm just going to keep moving forward and try to make things that are, funny and entertaining and make people think. And I think that, like my mission statement for anything I do creatively is to make people laugh, make people think, make people feel like they belong. And this show, I believe, does that really, really well. And, where this will lead to, I have no idea. But as long as I can continue to like fill those 3 buckets with anything I do creatively, I know that I feel like I'm doing the right thing, and hopefully, people like it and feel like it's worthy, and they get something from it. And to anybody listening, I really hope you enjoy it. I made it so that you would laugh and have a good time.
I'm being dead honest here. I don't think there's been another piece of like outdoor content that I didn't help make. And I'm only saying that to that I've enjoyed over the last like few years as much as I've enjoyed that. It is really good. And it hits this, it actually does something that I think part of the reason that Colin and I do this show is that it does tend to feel like in the last, I don't know, few years that like outdoor culture has kind of moved off of just the pure fun. And like, I don't know that that's through any decision that anyone's made or anything like that. It just sort of seems like that's where kind of media has gone. Like it's become very serious in lots of different ways. Either it's people doing things that are impossible for anybody else to do, or like tackling like complicated subjects that I don't really think are really served very well in the outdoor sort of space. Like it's nice to get back to like, this shit's just fun. Like the reason that any of us do any of these things is because it's fun. It's not serving a grander purpose. It's not doing anything other than like it's just really fun to do these things, and you should be laughing while you're doing them, because why else are you doing it? And it's a big breath of fresh air, which is the thing I really enjoyed about it. Plus, it also makes you want to do those things, that's exactly what outdoor media should do.
Well, it's spot on. I mean, it is exactly why we do, because the criticism we offer on everything, and we're not short of it, right, is because no one is critical, and everybody gets better when people do shine a different light on things. Yeah. And to Justin's point, and it is fun. Like this is just be stuff that we like, and it's not because it's you. We love you, but even if we didn't know you, like this is a breath of fresh air, because the content is either so self-serious or like the environment and it's going to burn in hell, and you know what I mean, or it's like here's another gear review. So it's kind of like this stuff. This is the kind of stuff that we need. Yeah. So very happy to celebrate it, and you. All right, man. Well, we can wrap it up there. Paddy, thanks so much for coming on. Again, congrats on everything. Looking forward to season 2. We can officially say season 2 is happening. We're not, that can be announced?
That can be announced. Yeah, we're working on it right now.
All right.
We're in the pre-production.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to seeing.
This is going to be a surprise to everybody outside magazine, basically, is what Paddy's saying right now. They're going to be
like, I guess we have to do it.
I guess we're doing season 2. All right.
Can't wait to see.
Somebody wake up Darby. You see if we get Darby back.
Yeah. Darby needs to be in season 2.
This time it's going to be Paddy and Darby doing all the new things.
Darby Sucks At.
Yeah, Darby and I are going figure skating.
Paddy.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
Paddy, that would be really good.
What, us figure skating?
Yeah. If Darby doesn't make a return, there's going to be a revolt.
And none of us would recognize Darby anyway. It could be any.
There's only one Darby.
Yeah. I hope he's not listening. I hope he's not listening.
He's in the other room.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot.
He lives with me now.
All
All right, buddy. Thanks for coming on, man. We have to get you back on for your fifth appearance soon.
Yes. I'll be looking forward to like the Rock Fight Letterman jacket that I get.
It's gone. It's in the mail.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Thank you, guys.
All right, that's the show for today. Thanks to our guest, Paddy O'Connell. You can find the link to watch PaddyO Sucks At in the show notes of this episode. Before you move on to that next podcast, though, please follow the show wherever you're listening so you never miss an episode of The Rock Fight. You can reach out to the show by sending your emails to myrockfight@gmail.com or find us on socials where our handle is @_rockfight_. The Rock Fight is a production of Rock Fight LLC. I'm Colin True. Thanks for listening. And here to take us out with a very special rendition of the Rock Fight fight song, it's Krista Makes. We'll see you next time, Rock Fighters.
Rock Fight.